Hello and welcome to the first edition of Newsroom series on Channels Television for this week. I'm Anne Muhammadu. We begin with our top stories. Governor Diko Umaru Rada of Katsina State has announced the official burial arrangements for Nigeria's former president, Muhammadu Buhari, who died on Sunday, July the 13th, 2025, in a hospital in London. The news of Mr. Buhari's death has sent shockwaves across the country, with tributes pouring in from national and international leaders. During a press briefing held in Katsina, Governor Rada stated that the body of the late president will arrive in Katsina by 12 noon on Tuesday, July the 15th. He also confirmed that the final funeral rites and interment will be held in Daura, that's Mr. Buhari's hometown, by 2 p.m. on the same day, following consultations with Buhari's family and associates in London. The governor also extended deep condolences to the Buhari family and Nigerians at large, describing the former president as a towering figure in Nigeria's political and military history. He also assured that the state is working closely with federal government to ensure a dignified and befitting burial for the statesman. And the Kaduna residents of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari remained quiet this morning, with no visible presence of mourners or sympathizers. The only people spotted around the area were security operatives maintaining surveillance and securing the property. The road leading to the Sultan Lane, where the former president's Kaduna home is located, appeared deserted. According to sources, all family members have already departed for Daura in Katsina State in preparation for the burial. Former President Buhari had relocated to Kaduna from his hometown of Daura on February the 27th, 2025, nearly 2 years after leaving office. He was known to have preferred the serenity of Kaduna after his presidency. It was from Kaduna residence that the late statesman traveled to London for medical treatment, a trip he sadly never returned from, marking the end of a chapter in Nigeria's history. And the National Assembly has announced the death of former President and Commander-in-Chief Muhammadu Buhari. The late president died on Sunday, as we told you earlier, July the 13th, in London, United Kingdom. His death marks the end of an era defined by long-standing service and commitment to Nigeria. In honor of his contributions to the nation, the President of the Senate and Speaker of the House of Representatives have directed that all legislative activities within the National Assembly be suspended with immediate effect. That suspension will last till Tuesday, July the 22nd, 2025, and members of the National Assembly are asked to adjust their schedules to allow full participation in the funeral proceedings and national mourning. The leadership of both chambers, on behalf of lawmakers and staff of the National Assembly, have extended deep condolences to the government and the people of Nigeria and the people of Katsina State also, as well as to his wife, children, and the entire family. The National Assembly stands in solidarity with the nation in this moment of loss and remembrance. And our thoughts and prayers remain with the Buhari family. But let's go back to our southwestern stories. Dignitaries from across Ijebu land and beyond have continued to visit the residence of the late Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Obasikiru Kayode Adetono, to pay final respects. The revered monarch died yesterday at the age of 91, and that's after a historic reign that spans 65 years. Mourners have been arriving at his private residence located in the government reserved area in Ijebu to honor his legacy. Among the early visitors were the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Noimot Salako Oyedele, who led a delegation of government officials. Also present were the Ogbeni Oja of Ijebu, Chief Sonny Kuku, the Secretary of the State Government, and other prominent personalities. The delegation described the late monarch as a symbol of wisdom, courage, and visionary leadership, whose contributions to the Ijebu land and Nigeria will never be forgotten. His burial is scheduled to take place later today at his private residence in accordance with Islamic rites. And to other stories now, the government of Ogun State has revealed that over 33,000 women have been trained in financial literacy, financial inclusion, in various entrepreneurial skills to the tune of about 2 billion naira in the last 3 years. The State Commissioner of Women Affairs, Adijat Adele, also highlights that this in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, while declaring open a training workshop for 150 newly engaged ward facilitators for the third phase of the strategic social intervention. I will bring you those other stories later, but in the meantime, Lagos State government has already launched a safety and awareness project just to help educate students on steps that can be taken in case of any emergency. The SASA project, which has been unveiled at the Comprehensive Senior High School in Alakwere, Ketu, by the State Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties, Mr. Tobi Oladipo, says the program aims to provide vital knowledge to the young ones on issues of safety within their community.
Students of the Comprehensive Senior and Junior High School, Alakwere, Ketu, are the first recipients of the SASA Lagos project, an initiative designed to equip young minds with the tools they need to stay safe, informed, and proactive in their communities.
Some people still they put their candlestick.
Lagos State government officials, including the State Fire and Rescue Service Safety Commission, the Nigeria Red Cross Society, and the Nigeria Police Force, are all here to enlighten the students on fire safety and on how to call for help when the need arises. The exercise begins with safety tips and a display of how to prevent fire outbreak with different equipment.
If you prevent fire that is going to occur in a very small way, it means that the fire would not be big.
Next, officials of the Nigeria Red Cross Society engaged the students on how to carry out cardiopulmonary resuscitation in case of any emergency.
We have taught them how to place the casualty in a recovery position. A recovery position is a position whereby the mouth is low, the jaw is forward, and most part of the chest is not on the floor. When somebody collapses, and if that person is still breathing, the best thing to do is to place that person in a recovery position rather than pouring water. And you can see that they have practicalized that. And even at home, in the church, in the mosque, everywhere, in the community, people should learn these basic skills.
Security awareness is also carried out by the Nigeria Police Force, encouraging the students to speak out when in danger.
We have Lagos State Police Command on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. So we encourage them to go there, see the phone numbers of all of the DPOs, pick any DPO of their choice. They can either call or send a message and they will be attended to. In the event that they are not attended to, we have the complaint response unit lines that they can report to. So we have several layers that they can use to reach us.
The program, organized by the State Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Relations, will cut across all senatorial districts in Lagos State just to ensure that everyone is safety conscious.
The advice is that for them to be aware of whatever that is happening within their surroundings and their community, for them to be conscious, to be safety and security conscious. And that's why we are always hammering on #BeSASA, #BeSafe.
I was very happy when I heard one of the facilitators saying that what is the number for the emergency, and they all responded very well, 767-112, which means that even at this stage, they already know what's going on in the state.
Some of the students expressed gratitude for the knowledge gained.
I learned that we should, if there's the alarm at home, we should learn how to use it safely. Or when there is no danger, we should not go there to use it.
The Lagos State government says the Safe School initiative is all about sensitizing the students on identifying hazards, and in turn, the students will educate others within their community.
We told you earlier that dignitaries from across Ijebu land and beyond have continued to pay a visit to the residents of the late Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Obasikiru Kayode Adetono, for their final respect. And the revered monarch died yesterday at the age of 91 after a historic reign that spanned 65 years.
The Awujale was a truly remarkable person. a man who has made royalty an envy of all who don't have it. Essentially, he was a man of integrity, a man who spoke his mind, and a man who had so much wisdom. He had not just love for Ijebu land, he had love for the country. And particularly when the country was in a turmoil, he took the right side and he spoke his mind. Apart from that, he's a man who has carried out a lot of development in Ijebu land, in particular. Many people don't know his contributions to education, where he has a university named after him now. He has an institute for public governance and so on in education. Then in other aspects, poverty alleviation, he has really reduced poverty in these areas. And the thing is set is something that is being copied all over the world, this poverty alleviation. And then when it comes to culture, you can see what has happened to Ojude. He's turned it into a global event. And it's not just the fancy of it; it's a big economic thing for Ijebu land.
Kabiyesi, our paramount ruler, passed on last night. Very painful death, but having looked after this community in the last 6 decades, probably one of the longest reigning rulers in Nigeria, we cannot but give thanks to God Almighty for a life well spent. Without any doubt, the situation in Ijebu land cannot be the same again, because the people have been used to a paternal support, a great godfather who have navigated the land successfully a bit over the years. And I think this community have no choice but to begin to come together to see how they can continue where Kabiyesi have left off.
The governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has expressed delight in partnering with Bauchi State Governor in investments in the agriculture and manufacturing sectors. During a meeting at the governor's office in Akure, the state capital, Governor Aiyedatiwa played host to his Bauchi State counterpart, Senator Bala Mohammed, who is leading investors into the state in a bid to establish a fertilizer and petrochemicals production plants in the next 12 months. In his speech, Aiyedatiwa appreciated Governor Mohammed for spearheading the investment bid, noting that Ondo State is open and willing to partner with investors in boosting the state's economy and providing jobs for the youth.
For resident cement coming in to establish a fertilizer, petrochemical fertilizer company, wonderful. Anything petrochemical, refinery, seaport, industries, we have the space. And it's also a free trade zone. Yes. So all of these will be of benefit to investors and also to us as a people. So I want to thank you for choosing Ondo State. There are other states that have similar location, but you have chosen to come to Ondo State.
And for Governor Mohammed, he's commended Governor Aiyedatiwa for taking bold steps towards repositioning Ondo State as a preferred destination for investments.
We have carried out due diligence, and they approached me that they have some proposal that they want to do in Ondo. They want to establish a fertilizer plant here, and they have made their feasibility studies as Nigerians. And I believe bringing this would be my honor to bring you without any string attached.
When Newsroom series returns in just a moment to find out what Lagos State is doing in terms of signage in commercial cities. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The significance of road signage in commercial cities like Lagos cannot be overemphasized. But despite the recurrence of road accidents, some people still find it very difficult to obtain the information that makes movements a lot easier. The Lagos state government has appealed to road users to adhere to all road signages and prevent accidents on the roads. Our correspondent, Titia Berewo, tells us more.
Lagos is a city majorly connected by roads, linking several communities. One common thing on the highway and other road networks are road signages indicating different information to help motorists navigate easily on the road. For instance, the yellow crisscross lines means do not enter a box junction if your exit is not clear. Not everyone has knowledge about these road signages, and for those who are aware of these signs, they ignore it, not minding who gets hurt.
This is zebra crossing, a road signage provided by the government for pedestrians to make their way to the other side of the road. And drivers are expected to stop for passengers to make their way to the other side. Unfortunately, not so many drivers obey this road signage and sometimes lead to accidents on the road.
Within the Lagos State Seat of Power, some residents call for major advocacy on road signage.
A lot of people don't even know that there are signs that they're supposed to obey. They just cross the road. At the end of the day, they got hit by hit-and-run drivers. There should be a lot of sensitization, orientation for the public so that they will be aware that there's a need to go with zebra crossing. And again, the zebra crossing, some motorists don't even know what is called zebra crossing. So in this state, we expect that there should be orientation with commercial transporters and private owners.
Road signs are signs that are very important in our day-to-day transport system. But it's just a pity that most of the Nigerian drivers, they don't observe it. And look at this arrow indicating that this is the direction you have to. If you look at some blocks there, they created some blocks. It means probably during an event, a very serious event, they can make use of that space as a car park, temporarily, not permanent. The education needs to start from the primary school.
The State Director of Transport Engineering, Mr. Bada Bolaji, enlightened the public on road signage, double single lines, including the digital ones, among others.
Road signage are more like those markings. They are information disseminating. They are also warning. They are also guiding and directing. There are some markings that are yellow. There are some that are white. However, the most important thing there is when you have a broken lines, it means that you are permitted or you can overtake. When you have a solid line, it means that at that point, you can't overtake, because from the design geometry of that road, the road may be a bend. Overtaking on a bend is dangerous. So you have it solid at that point. When you are beyond those points, they break it broken. Light signals on a junction. The red says stop for the vehicle. The amber, which is almost yellow, is saying prepare to go. It's not saying go. It's allowing whoever is crossing or anything activity to dissipate from that junction such that you can now move.
Knowing the importance of road signage on the ever-busy Lagos road, being controlled by officials of the State Traffic Management Authority, patience is the key word for every road user to avoid crashes.
Good morning, everyone.
The general manager in charge of LASG says between January to June 2025, over 700 accidents have been recorded on Lagos roads. He emphasized that the digital signage and the traffic management solution device is not to generate revenue, but to ensure smooth movement of vehicles across the states.
For January to June 2025, we'll be able to gather accident information to the tune of 7 164 accidents on Lagos roads across the 5 divisions of the state. Around Alakwere, we have a speed limit camera there. This was not erected to generate revenue. It was done by the government purely to ensure safety.
The Lagos State government advises road users to adhere to all road signages and state laws to avoid being fined. Titilayo Aberewu, Channels Television.
Education remains a critical pillar to drive economic growth and create a functional society where no one is left behind. This conjunction is the driving force for the Oyo State government as it strives to improve education across the state. The State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Segun Olaiwola, says the positive turnaround witnessed by the education sector in the state is as a result of Governor Seyi Makinde's visionary and insightful leadership.
Another set of critical ministries take the stage in the ongoing inter-ministerial briefing of the Oyo State government.
Areas where religious bodies and organizations.
It's the turn of the education and investment ministries to give account of their stewardship so far. The Ministry of Investment notes the strides it has made in deliverables concerning income mandates.
Our vision to be the engine for the promotion of economic and industrial growth to enable Oyo State to rank among the best investment destinations for trade, industry, and cooperatives. And as well, improve the internally generated revenue profile of the state, encourage entrepreneurs through the development of micro, small, medium enterprises, incentives, revitalization and development of agro-allied industries through establishment of industrial clusters, enhance wealth creation through informal sector of the state's economy.
From the Ministry of Education, the Commissioner, Mr. Segun Olaiwola, says the government's policies on budgetary allocation, reducing the gap in education infrastructure, reducing the number of out-of-school children, and increasing the workforce in education sector have had a positive impact on the quality of education.
At the end of 2023, we had 2,449. But because of the innovation that are brought into the educational sector, because of the ingenuity of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, and because of the fact, the enticing situation of our schools, people that were outside of the school started joining in. And between 2023 and now, the number rose from 2,449 to 2,506.
It maintains that as a result of the efforts of the government, which has demonstrated the political will to improve education, the sector has attracted interventions from development partners and all students' associations, which are helping greatly meeting education needs across the state.
Our target was to be 1,000 classrooms because we had a focus. The focus was to bring in the out-of-school children, many of whom have started school years before we came on board. But we have improved, but we have not gotten to where we are supposed to be. We were able to meet the UNESCO standard of 20%. 20% of this year annual budget is dedicated to education.
The state government says an additional 15,000 teaching and non-teaching staff have been employed by the Makinde administration to join others to coordinate 646 secondary schools and 2,506 primary schools.
About 170 indigent patients have received surgical and medical interventions through the Ogun State Medical Mission and the Ajose Foundation, the pet project of the wife of the state governor, Bamidele Abiodun. Speaking during a visit to the Olabisi Onabanjo Teaching Hospital, the First Lady of Ogun State says that indigent residents are being targeted in order to reduce the financial burdens and ensure quality health care.
The annual medical and surgical outreach aims to provide critical healthcare services to economically disadvantaged individuals who often suffer in silence due to high costs of medical care. This year's mission has drawn the expertise of United States-based surgeons and physicians who are offering tailored medical care to the selected beneficiaries. The First Lady was present to offer encouragement and moral support to both patients and the medical team.
People who are not able to afford surgeries. We have people who have things that we may consider minor, like hernias, like fibroids. We've taken out some giant fibroids. There was one I saw when we went into the ER, into the operating room. People with goiter, thyroid issues. People with basic, not really basic, but surgeries that can be done quickly.
A key highlight of the mission was the official unveiling of the new endoscopic machine, made possible through the efforts of the Joseph Foundation and international partners.
When anything, there is upper GI, any ailments from your mouth, from when you put your food in there to go into the stomach, they will detect any abnormalities instantly. It's a video camera, just like the video. You just put the tube in there, you will see any kind of erosions that go into your stomach. So we just trained one nurse. Within about 30 minutes, that nurse was able to use the machine to take care of 5 patients. So by today now, she already trained another nurse to do the same thing. So it's not just the machine, it's just service transfer, capacity building. So we had to just teach other people to do the same thing. And that's what we just did. So 3 nurses already know how to use it. They don't need us no more.
Expressing gratitude, the Chief Medical Director of Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Olubumi Fatungase, said the donation will significantly enhance the hospital's diagnostics capacity and treatment outcomes across various specialties.
Now, there are some silent cancers, particularly colon cancer, which have symptoms that are similar to just any other general diarrhea or constipation, change in bowel movement, that people would not know that it's cancer growing. And it's one of the cancers that can actually be cured completely if it's detected early. So we are really happy. We've been longing for this equipment, and we are happy that it has eventually landed. And we say a big thank you to all our donors for those who have contributed to this, to make this happen.
In appreciation of her continued support for the hospital and its healthcare delivery efforts, the management of the hospital presented Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun with a commemorative plaque, recognizing her invaluable contributions to the institution's development.
And with that, we end Newsroom series for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll continue with other regions in the week. I'm Anne Muhammadu.